Isaac Watts's poem, Against Idleness and Mischief, reads, "How doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour, and gather honey all the day from every opening flower. In works of labor or of skill I would be busy too, for Satan finds some mischief still for idle hands to do." The world of polycrisis runs on finite time. Social, environmental, economic factors, there's a layer of urgency there that suggests that we have to move with haste. And since that clock is always ticking, we can't help but hope to optimize those moments that we do have.
What is your name and how old are you?
My name is Ashlyn and I'm 21.
What are some of the different things that you do, like work, clubs, hobbies, stuff like that?
I have 3 jobs, I go to school, and I direct a musical.
What is your name and your age?
I keep watching TV.
That's okay.
So this is how I'm doing my productivity. My name's PJ Ford. I'm 37. Kind of all my hobbies are my work at the same time. So I bartend and I do photography, and so I work at 2 bar restaurants and also do photography and videography on site.
I, like my peers, am severely overbooked. I'm always either at class, at a practice, a meeting, or at work, which usually I tell myself is how I like it. Stay busy and I'll have something to show for my time. But this past year has really shown me that it's exhausting always having to do something. And I started to wonder, why do we overcommit and overexert our time and maximize productivity in a way that we may not even realize is hurting us? The first reason that I found for this time optimization, especially as it applies to work, is the need for financial stability. Being alive right now is expensive. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the cost of food index in 2025 rose 3.1% up from last year. Energy was up 2.8%, medical care 3.9%, and generally everything rose about 3%. So work gives us some peace of mind on that front, something to work towards that's also going to help you combat this cost of living crisis. Jenny Odell cites the removal of economic security for working people as the catalyst for these dissolving boundaries. 8 hours of work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for what we will, so that we are left with 24 potentially monetizable hours that are sometimes not even restricted to our time zones or sleep cycles. In a situation where every waking moment has become the time in which we make our living, time becomes an economic resource that we can no longer justify spending on nothing.
What is your name and how old are you?
My name is Jonathan Peterson, and I'm 22 years old. I mostly just work on like freelance contract projects for graphic design as well.
What is your name and your age?
Sydney Webb, I'm 22 years old. Right now mostly work. I work here as a server and I also manage our rentals at our rental venue. So that's most of my time.
But more than just the financial side of things, work gives us a sense of purpose, something to do with our time that feels productive, and the alternative is to be doing nothing.
Before I had a job here, I just had completely open days and nothing to work towards, and it was just hard to keep up productivity and attention to things because I wasn't working towards anything.
It's time optimization at its finest. Give your time and get something tangible in return, which sounds really great on paper. But because of that allure, we're losing the boundaries between ourselves and our productivity. The truth of the matter is that work is always going to be one of those things that demands our time, and to a certain extent that we have to give into. It's wishful thinking to only want to give your time to the things that fulfill you. That mindset fails to address the problems of financial security that we've already discussed. Setting your expectations of mindfulness and attention, or as Odell puts it, understanding the impossibility of a once-and-for-all exit, for most of us anyway, sets the stage for a different kind of retreat or refusal in place. Long story short, if we're going to give our time to our work anyway, we have to find ethical ways to separate it from ourselves.
I like to find dedicated workspaces, so I used to work a lot from home, and when I worked from home I found I was always distracted, so going to like a coffee shop to where like I'm like now entering a space to like work is like important.
Just like focusing on like being where my feet are, since my life is very compartmentalized right now. Just being able to be like, when I'm here I'm doing this and I'm focused here, and then on to the next thing.
Usually it's whatever is, we call it like the hottest fire to put out. So whatever is the most urgent is like the thing that moves to the front, especially at Abbott. And then anything once 5 o'clock hits, at Abbott usually I'm here doing whatever is needed. So that's kind of how the priorities go.
I think I'd like my phone to burn less of a hole in my pocket when I need to sit down and do some work. And I find when it's in another room, I get way more work done, way more efficiently. I've turned off all my notifications for the most part.
Yeah.
So that if it buzzes, when it does, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like a text from my partner, and not like.
Do you find that to be effective?
Yeah.
Finding dedicated workspaces, compartmentalizing tasks, and turning off distractions like phones are all ways that my interviewees stay focused on the task at hand. These strategies are excellent ways to cultivate mindfulness and presence, backed up by professionals at the Struthers School of Radical Attention. They published a toolkit to foster attention activism with a section all about attention sanctuaries, which are spaces and times that are protected from the fracking of our attention.
How do you view your time?
I always think I have not enough of it, so I call myself like time pessimist. Like I'm frozen a lot of the time too from thinking I don't have enough time for like certain activities and stuff. And so then I sit there in like a time paralysis and then get nothing done.
I think I'm always trying to do something. It's very rare that I have time to for self-care. I feel like there's always something that can be done, so I'm almost always doing something.
Yeah, so there's never enough time. That was probably my biggest relationship with time. It always seems like I need more.
But time isn't something that's running out. We have as much of it as we want. The trouble is that we want to do too many things. In his study, Mohammed Asiri found that most people are working more than they should be, commonly referred to as overwork. Overwork can be triggered by the hustle culture phenomenon in the social environment, which is associated with nonstop busyness with a larger workload, limited time, and technological pressures. We've been trained to think that higher productivity equals success. But outside of the work that we do, we have to start doing things just because our time is worth more than what we have to show for it.
Or do you have different things that you do to be intentional when you're not trying to do something productive? Like just general mindfulness? How about with things that aren't work?
Things that aren't work. I'm doing a lot of my work, aren't I?
What outside of work do you do?
If you were to ask me how to best take time for yourself, I'd probably tell you that I'm not the right person to ask. I don't have an answer for how best to do that, and this video isn't claiming to either. But what I've learned from Struther, Odell, and others is that it's vital to give yourself something to attend to other than a product. Radical attention, that is, allowing yourself to be in tune with and notice things about the world around you, is a form of resistance. Hustle culture, capitalism, social media, these are all things that are vying for our attention on the daily. And we have to find ethical ways to engage with them because that's the reality of our world. We can't just ignore and step outside those things completely, and we shouldn't feel guilty for having to do so. But radical attention is a way of taking back what's yours. It allows your understanding of the world around you to deepen, independent of what you make of it. So allow yourself to just be. Fill your free time with people who nourish your soul, doing tasks without an end product in mind, focusing on the process. That's something that I'm still working on. But as the Struther School advises in their toolkit, these things will give shape to yourself as a free person in the world with others. This is the deepest work of all. This is the goodness of being.